welcome to the show. My name is James Sober and I used to work as a psychologist. This show is called Your Big, Beautiful, Biased Brain.
Please give a warm, big, huge, dessert-filled welcome to James Soper.
I'm going to ask everybody here to do something. Would you all please point to your minds? Yeah, most people are pointing to their head, that's good. You can close your eyes so you're not distracted by anybody else. Would you all now please point to your soul? Oh, that's interesting. Some people are pointing to their chest. That tells me two things. The first is this: you don't really know where your hearts are in your bodies. But also, you think there's something that makes you you that isn't to do with your brain, and this is not true. Let me tell you, everything that makes you you happens between your ears, in your brain.
And very quickly, I'm going to show you that your brain doesn't necessarily work in the way you think it does. All right, here's another question for everyone. Tell me what you can see. Well, you should be able to see a stage and a lectern. You should be able to see me standing here with my head above my feet. But think about what's actually happening. Your eye works like a camera. The image that's actually going to the back of your retina is upside down. So you're not seeing me with my head above my feet. You're seeing me with my head below my feet. Isn't that interesting? Our vision is actually upside down. Right, have a look at this here. This is most definitely a picture of a duck. Can everybody see that duck? Yes? No? Hang on a sec. Oh no, you're right. It's a rabbit, isn't it? No, it's definitely a duck. Well, it turns out this is something psychologists call a bistable image. You can see a duck, you can see a rabbit, but you can't see both at the same time. This tells us that what you see, which is upside down, then needs to be interpreted. This is
Right, it gets even weirder than this. Have a look at this screen here, and I want you to count the black discs that you can see. I'm not doing anything to the image. Everything that's happening is happening inside your brain. Let me explain what's going on. If I could take a photo of the back of your eyeball, we would see that there's just one small part, the fovea, that can see in any great detail. If you all hold your thumbs out at arm's length like this, the size of your retina that you can see in detail is about the size of your thumbnail. Everything else is really fuzzy. There's actually the optic disc there, your optic nerve, that's your blind spot. You can't see anything through that bit. So when you look at one of these black discs, everything else is fuzzy, but your brain makes it up for you. It interprets what it can see. So those look like long grey lines, so it tells you that those are long grey lines. As soon as you move your eyes, you look at another disc, that first disc disappears. You absolutely know it's there, but your eyes don't allow you to see that. Your brain is interpreting this information.
disappears. This is a beautiful game of football that happened last year in Germany. Did you see what happened to the goalkeeper? The ball rolled away. He was looking at the penalty spot and he was absolutely convinced that was actually the ball. He's using the good bit of his eye to work out where the pass is going to go to, and then a perfect cartoon double take. Well, the ball was there. Well, the ball wasn't there. There was just a white blob. That was the penalty spot. But his brain said, don't worry, the ball's still there. Right, hang on a second. Again, just a few minutes ago, you thought you were looking at a stable image. It turns out it's upside down. It needs to be interpreted. Most of it is pretty fuzzy, and it gets even weirder than that. Have a look at this young lady here. Right, if I could take a picture, a little video of what you're doing now, you'd actually be whizzing that really good bit of your eye that you can see with really well around her face. You'd actually be moving your eyes around like this. If I could video what was going on, we'd actually see something like this. We call these saccades. Now,
Right, turns out birds, like chickens, aren't able to do this saccade masking. So what they've had to do is work out different ways that they can hold their heads absolutely still. You know when you see a bird like a pigeon or a chicken do that funny walk where they do all of that, you think, how on earth can they see shooting their heads forwards and backwards? Well, this is how they can see. What they do is they shoot their heads forwards and then they hold their heads really still so they can see. And then they run their bodies underneath their heads and then they shoot their heads forwards again and then they hold them really still and then they run their bodies underneath.
Your brain is trying to do so many amazing things, it has to take shortcuts. Now, some of you might be familiar with this paper here. I hope you are. This is one of the greatest papers ever published in psychology, published by these two chaps here, Kahneman and Tversky. This was so important, these guys won the Nobel Prize for their psychological research. There isn't even a Nobel Prize for psychology.
And behaviour. If I was to describe you lot in a single sentence, it would be this: you are pattern recognition machines. You are pattern recognition machines. Put your hands up if you can see Jesus in a pizza. Of course there isn't Jesus in a pizza, but you can't help but see patterns.
Right, if you come and see the show, I don't want you to go away thinking that our brains aren't amazing things. They absolutely are. Our brains are the most amazing machines on the planet. However, to do what they do, they have to take shortcuts, and some of these shortcuts lead to biases. So if you want to learn more about that, it would be great to see you in our show venue tomorrow. Again, can I say thank you to everybody that's helped put this event on? Can I congratulate all of the young people that have had their projects picked? Guys, I hope to see some of you with your projects tomorrow, and that's the end of my presentation. So thank you so much.
Okay, give it up again for James Supper.